How do grades tell you how you're doing in school?
They do help you know how you are doing in school, and it also just shows how hard you're trying in school.
They tell you about how you did on your work.
It kind of gives you an assessment of how well you paid attention in class, how well you actually participated.
I think they're really important because it shows how hard I've been working in school, or it shows that I need to work on that class.
Grades mean that is you doing good in school or doing bad, and that so your mother is you doing good or bad in school.
They tell me if I'm doing good or not so good.
Do you pay attention? Do you care?
If you're doing well in school and if you have trouble and you need help.
They just tell you how hard you're working, how much effort you're putting in.
They tell me if I'm doing good, if I'm doing bad, if I'm doing so-so.
I believe grades are a pretty good way of telling how you're keeping up with school.
It helps say what you're doing, what you're excellent in, and it helps check your understanding of what you go over in class.
What's the point of us giving you grades?
So then your parents and you know how you're doing in school.
What does an A mean?
It just means you're doing good and you're turning in all your work on time and trying your hardest in class.
It means that you got 100 on your work.
That means 90 to 100%, so pretty much you grasp the knowledge almost all the way.
It means that I know my stuff really well.
That you're doing great at school.
An A means I'm doing pretty good, but I could do actually better to get an A+.
Well, if you get an A, that means you're doing really good, and just keep doing what you're doing.
That you pay attention and not mess around, do your homework.
I'm doing really good.
You're doing good.
An A means it's kind of paying off for everything you've done.
It means you're doing pretty good.
A means that you're doing excellent in a class and that you understand what you're doing in that class.
An A means you're doing really good and you're working hard.
That you tried your best. That you're working pretty hard.
An A means you're spectacular, and I get A's a lot.
What's an F mean?
You're just guessing on tests or anything else.
It's saying you're doing it bad on your work.
Meaning you did not try hard enough and you did not grasp the knowledge well enough.
It means that I really, really need to study more.
That you're doing bad at school.
You don't do your homework.
Well, an F means I have to work a lot more harder.
F's are you need help.
You're not putting any effort in at all.
You're really bad.
F, that means you need to work harder.
If you're getting an F, it means you're not putting in the effort, you're not trying to find anyone to help you.
An F means you failed at what you did and you need to work really, really hard.
How do grades make you feel?
If I get an A, I feel really happy.
If I get an F, it's sad, and if I get an A, it's happy.
Depending on how hard I try, they make me feel good, and they also make me feel bad.
If you're getting straight A's and doing good in class or school, then it just makes you feel good.
If I had an F before, I'll be sad.
Good grades make me feel good about myself.
Well, if they're high grades, like C to an A, make me feel better than a D to an F.
The A is happy, and then F is horrible, I guess.
If I get an A, I feel like I work pretty hard.
So I never got a C or below, but if I got a B, I wouldn't be that happy. A B is okay, but an A is the thing.
If you get good grades, it makes you feel good inside. You feel like you're doing something right.
I'm going to try and keep A's and B's, and when I see that on a report card, it makes me feel a lot better about myself compared to C's or D's.
Certain grades make me feel good, like when I get an A, I feel great because it's one step to get my phone back.
I haven't got C's a lot, but when I do get C's, I feel like that I need to go harder on myself.
Who cares more about grades, you or your parents?
My grades are probably more important to me than they are to my parents, because my parents want me to pass, but I want to pass myself without having anybody help, be independent, and do what I want to do.
I think myself because, I have to try harder, and yeah. And my parents, yeah, they care a lot, but not as much as me doing the work.
Sometimes myself, sometimes my parents, but more of the time my parents. Especially my freshman year. I was really bad my freshman year, but now I'm getting better with that.
My parents. They're the reason I get A's.
Probably me, because you can be harder on yourself. So it's just easier to be harder on yourself than, because your parents don't want to make you feel bad or anything.
I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's as big of a deal to me, because I have like other stuff that I think's important, but they think grades are like more important than everything else, I guess.
I care just a little bit more about grades because I want to but I want to succeed in my life and kind of carry on through what I want to do, and they're just there to support me and help me.
They don't like make me do, well, they do make me do my homework, but I do it for myself.
My parents.
How come?
Because so they can look and see how you're doing in school and if you're doing your work.
My parents. Because I'm more focused on my sport, I guess.
I would say my parents probably care more about it, but as I become a senior, I get more caring about it, and I realize those are what's going to get me into college. I need people to have my grades looking good, to have people thinking I'm a good student and want me at their college.